Looking to catch up on the latest Star Wars books? Featuring sound effects and music directly from the movies, Star Wars audiobooks are the definitive listening experience. The aces of the New Republic have one final chance to defeat the darkness of Shadow Wing in Victory's Price by Alexander Freed, the thrilling conclusion to the Star Wars Alphabet Squadron trilogy. Available now wherever audiobooks are sold.
This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Coffee with Kenobi. This is your spoiler-free place for Star Wars discussion, analysis, and rhetoric. I'm your host, Dan Z, drinking One Nation coffee out of my original Coffee with Kenobi logo from 2013. This is our 400th show. We are closing rapidly in on 8 years of Coffee with Kenobi, and we have a very special guest. She is a returning guest to the show. She has not been on for, oh my goodness, probably it's been 5 years, which is hard to believe. But she is the number one Star Wars fan in my heart, the coffee to my Kenobi, the lovely, the talented Mrs. Deanna Zare, my wife. Deanna, welcome back to the show.
Wow, quite the introduction. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on and agreeing to do this. So this has been an interesting setup to the show. Let's talk about your entrance into the Coffee with Kenobi studios and how that's been going.
Well, I've been doing my best to get kicked out of here, it appears.
We've had a lot of fun. We've set up some equipment because normally, of course, I do the show electronically on different programs and we interview people. And today we're doing the show locally inside the studio. And Deanna brought in some sparkling water and proceeded to spill all over the studio. So that was a good start.
It was a small spill, but
we've had a lot of laughs, and I've been assured, ladies and gentlemen, that carbonated water is just water. So we're safe, right?
It's true.
Okay, very good. So we've had fun, but honestly, that's actually perfect because you and I have so much fun together. It's been fun, of course, to take this ride with you. Coffee with Kenobi, as I've said many times, will never happen. It could not have happened to the degree that it has without your love, your support, and your kindness, because you've had to hold down the fort a lot while a lot of things have gone on. So since we're behind the scenes for this episode, 400th episode, first of all, is that crazy to you that it's 400 episodes?
It's very crazy. I think it's gone very fast, but I think you've come so far. I just keep picturing the picture, which I'm not sure you've ever shared.
Oh, yes.
In any of your outlets, of you sitting in our then unfinished basement on an old recliner that we no longer have, with your laptop in your lap and your microphone in your hand, and just podcasting in the empty basement.
Yeah.
And we'll have to put that picture out.
Yeah, it's from like the first year of the show, and it was an old karaoke microphone that I had. Scott Murray from then, it was a show called Assembly of Geeks. He had me on to guest star, and he said I needed a USB mic, so I went to Target that day and bought one.
I remember that.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, we've definitely come a long way now. We're in the studios, and it's just been a ball. And as I've said many times, you've been so instrumental in the success of this show, because this show, I've probably spent 35, 40 hours a week on it, in addition to being a full-time teacher and a husband and a father. Podcaster is only as good as his family and the love and support that they have. And I very much appreciate you and all you've done for me and for the show. And how do you manage to balance everything with the show and with all of your responsibilities just as a mom and a wife, and just knowing that there are times when I'm going to be preoccupied talking about laser swords and walking carpets and things that really just don't matter?
Well, I think you and I are so good together because we encourage each other with our separate hobbies. Like, we work together. We obviously live together. We spend a lot of time together. But then we each have separate things that we like to do too. And I think this has been, although it does take a lot of your time, this has been an excellent outlet for you to kind of use your creativity in a way that, you know, you don't always get to do, maybe in other facets of your life. So for me, it's not about balancing. It's just about helping you feed that creative side of you. And, you know, if daddy's happy, everybody's happy, I guess.
I think that's a hashtag or a bumper sticker.
Maybe.
Bumper stickers, ladies and gentlemen, were things people used to put on their cars, which, by the way, I was never allowed to do. That was a big discouragement.
Why would anyone do that?
Yeah, if you take the bumper sticker off the bumper, then it makes a sticky residue.
Right.
That was what my mom had said.
Yeah. Nobody needs that.
Yeah,
Your mom was right.
She was. How about that? All right, very good. So throughout the years, obviously you've seen me and then our kids have gotten to do a lot of cool things. I took Parker to a Star Wars Galactic Nights a couple of years ago in Orlando. I took Peyton to the premiere of Solo. Mason and I have done a lot of fun Star Wars things together as well. But you and I did something incredibly special. And ironically, and this is kind of the primary topic of the show, besides the fact that it's 400, you and I in 2019, back before the coronavirus started, we flew to Hollywood and we got to go to the world premiere of The Rise of Skywalker, the last film in the Skywalker saga. And I was so fired up because it was the second premiere I got to go to, but I got to bring you. So when I first told you about the possibility of us going to Hollywood together, what did you think?
I believed you, first of all. The first time we went to Hollywood, I didn't believe it was happening. I thought you were being scammed.
For the Target commercial.
I thought we were being kidnapped.
Right.
Story for another time, maybe.
Yes.
So I definitely believed you. I knew that you and Peyton had a great time at the other premiere that you had gone
for
to.
Solo, absolutely.
Yes.
That's where I met George Lucas.
Yes. So I was very excited just about the experience in and of itself and just to kind of be in that world.
Absolutely. And so so there's a lot of prep that goes into this. I mean, I had to get a lot of stuff ready for just the show in general. But for you, what was your prep like getting ready to go to California?
Well, there is a lot of prep for a podcaster's wife to attend.
Well, hello.
Exactly. No, it was.
We need to talk about all the dresses.
Okay, so I did buy a few dresses. Yeah, there was some dress prep, but.
So we have this great strategy, right, where you tried some stuff on, but then there was things that you found online that we weren't sure about if they would work. So we would order them.
There was really no they. This was all me doing that work. Let's give credit where credit is
I was being
due.
affable. Yes.
You got to bring them home. You got to try them on. You got to try with the shoes. You got to think of every scenario. And then after you make your final decision, then you buy 3 more dresses.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I pretty much said, hey, what tie should I wear?
Exactly. I said, I'll let you know when I finally decide.
That's right. And it worked out fine. So we got everything ready, got the kids organized, ready to roll, got the plane tickets, and we're off to Hollywood. Now, you mentioned earlier that we'd been there before together for the Target commercial, of course, and I went for the Solo premiere. I want to rewind really, really quickly because I don't think we talked about it from your side. But when I met George, it was Peyton and I've told that story before on the show. But do you remember the text I sent to you and what you thought when I met George Lucas?
I don't remember.
Really?
No.
Oh, well, it was in all caps.
Maybe it wasn't as memorable for me as it was for you.
Fair enough. I know I remember sending in all caps to you, I just talked to George Lucas.
And I probably responded, shut up.
I think you did.
Was that it?
Yeah, with
okay.
all caps
all
and all exclamation points.
Seems reasonable.
Yes. This is probably a good time to mention that it's fair to say that obviously you love me, but Star Wars, maybe you don't like it in the same fashion that I do. Is that fair to say? Reasonable?
It is fair to say that, yes, I do love you very much.
I'm very glad.
But I do not share the same passion for Star Wars that you have. I like it. I like that our kids like it. I like that you like it. I like the experiences it's given our family, but the premiere probably meant something different to me than it did for you.
Of course. And see, that's actually a perfect way to encapsulate what we're just talking about. Like it has different impacts on us for different ways, but it still creates another opportunity for families to do fun things together.
Absolutely. And here is what struck me when we were at the premiere. When we entered the red carpet and, you may not know this, but I had never walked on a red carpet prior to that night. I don't know if I told you that or not.
Which was actually blue for this one.
And it was actually blue.
Yeah.
So whatever. Truth in advertising. But what I was really interested to see was just all of the different people that were there. I mean, there were HGTV stars to teen stars to musicians to all kind. And that for me, since I was like excited to see the movie, but not maybe in the way that you were, I was able to take all of that in and just see all the different types of personalities and the excitement that was all about Star Wars bringing all these different walks of people together.
Right. Very well said. Yeah. So we got ready, and we spent a lot of time that weekend with Clayton Sandell and his wife, and we had a great time. We toured the Disney studios
They were
together.
wonderful.
Yes, they were so much fun, and so we were going to meet them. But before we did that, we did some fun prep for the night. And you had there's this service. I'm not sure what it's called, Glam Squad or something.
Yes, Glam Squad.
So explain that to our friends what that's like. Some people probably know about it, but I hadn't really heard of it before.
Yeah, well, it's an app that if you are in a major city, unlike the one we live in, but things like Hollywood, they will actually come to your house or to your hotel and they will do your hair and makeup.
Right.
And they were great.
So they came, it was two women. They came to where the hotel we were staying. And it was like, well, how long were you in the chair for? Like an hour, 45 minutes?
Yeah. About an hour.
It was so cool. Like for me, just watching, like it was like being married to Taylor Swift or something. And like
what
they were like getting you all dolled up, and I don't know. It was just really, really fun. And you looked absolutely stunning. Anyone who's seen your pictures online knows you looked like a Hollywood starlet of your own. Honestly.
Wow. Thank you.
It's true. That was very, very fun. So we go there. We go onto the blue carpet. You walk into this massive tent, and our hotel was pretty close to where the actual premiere was itself, and that was by design. And we walked into this massive tent, and it's almost like when you go to a convention, whether it's an education convention or any kind of convention, there's tables on either side, and there's alphabet on both sides, and you have to go find your last name, and that's where your tickets will be. You get a lanyard. It'll give us the name of the movie. I'm actually looking around. It says guest, and there are 4 different theaters that were showing the premiere. We were in the Man's Chinese Theater, which is the first theater ever to show Star Wars. So it's pretty cool that we got to see the very last Star Wars movie in the place where it all started. So we walked through, and this was a very different blue carpet than the solo one, because for the solo one, you could walk down the main strip, and you can wait for the stars to go by and see them be interviewed and things like that. But for this one, that was all pretty much closed off, but there was a balcony. And overlooking the balcony, you could see kind of pit row where all of the media was. The X-Wings were in the air, and there was just kind of this electricity. Do you remember kind of how you felt when you first saw all of that?
Well, it was really elaborate, first of all, which I expected it to be, but it was even more breathtaking. Like it's more than you could even imagine, I guess, just the setup of it and just knowing kind of like the creativity that went into making all that happen. And yeah, there was just a lot of excitement in the air.
And there's legitimate energy. Like it's absolutely palpable, and it's very, very bright. Everything is lit. So you try to find the perfect place by the logo where they have the Rise of Skywalker sign and all that kind of stuff. And it's tricky because the lighting, of course, they don't care about what kind of selfies you and I want to take. They care about photographing Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford and people of that ilk.
Right.
Right. So it's hard to find the perfect picture, but I mean, you do what you can, right? And there was like different cars that were like designed to be like stormtroopers and things like that. But eventually it was time to go into the movie itself. We go in, you get your free popcorn, you get your free soda, get yourself all situated. And then we watch the movie. So, I mean, basically I remember a few times gasping out loud like I was watching professional wrestling or something like that. But you were soaking it in. And as an astute but very casual Star Wars fan, do you kind of remember, there was certainly, to me, naturally, there was energy in that theater, but do you remember thinking anything other, did you feel like, I'm at a movie premiere, or did it just kind of feel like we're settled in now, we're kind of doing our thing?
No, I definitely remember that I was at a movie premiere because I've never watched an entire movie in a ball gown before.
Fair.
But so that was different. I'm not usually eating popcorn in my ball gown and watching a movie, but yeah, it was a fun energy. It was cool just to see everyone's reactions and people clapping and really interactive with the movie.
Right. I guess I should mention that the day before that we got to hang out a little bit in the greater Los Angeles area, and we had a lot of fun. We went to Beverly Hills.
We did.
Which that was appealing to your fandom to a degree, I would say, right? Fair?
Yes. My Rodeo Drive fandom. Yes.
Yeah, and we window shopped, didn't we?
Very much so. Yes.
But that was fun. You actually had your little brush with Hollywood stardom when we were at one of the shopping centers. Talk about that. I love this story.
Not on Rodeo Drive.
No.
That was over at the mall.
Yes.
And we had gone in for, I think, to eat lunch at the mall. And we went into H&M so I could actually go somewhere where I might be able to buy something.
Yeah, because that night there was a big thing at the Scum and Villainy Cantina that Clayton and I organized where people could come and meet us, and the 501st were there. And so we're just kind of looking for last-minute little outfits and items. So we're walking around, and we actually go into H&M, and something really cool happened.
Well, you looked at me and your eyes got huge and you said, "Look over there." And I was like, where am I looking? And then I heard a voice with a very strong accent and
British
accent. I won't do my British accent.
I was sort of hoping you would.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Another time.
Yeah. And it was Lisa Vanderpump and her husband, Ken. And for those of you, and Ken and Lisa both have beautiful British accents. Those of you who don't know who they are, then you have never watched Vanderpump Rules or The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But I have. So I was very excited, and Dan was very excited for me. And he told me to go up and talk to her. And I was like, no, I can't. And then I did.
You did.
I did.
You went up and you were just casually talking about, like, didn't you say something like pink looked good on her or something like that?
Well, pink is her signature color.
Okay. So
she was looking at a coat. So I said, that coat is nice, but it would look better if it was in pink. And she turned to look at me. And then I talked to her about her work that she does to help save dogs and rescue dogs. And she and her husband were both very gracious. And I had a nice little chat with them.
Yes, that was super. That was so fun to see because there's just something cool about when you meet people that you admire from afar and you realize they're just people too.
Yeah, she was shopping at H&M.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then you, of course, everyone knows Tom Gross, our CWK newsman. You texted his wife right away because you knew she would appreciate that story.
Exactly, and she did.
Yeah, that was great. So yeah, we got to have a lot of fun experiences like that. But then we talk about the premiere. After the premiere, you and I were kind of speechless. I think kind of soaking it all in and kind of what it all meant. And we were also very hungry.
Very hungry.
And they've got this incredible spreads everywhere. They've got bars everywhere. They've got different displays of all the costumes from the movie. And then we heard from Disney, a Disney rep, and they invited us to go into the VIP area. And the answer to that is always yes. Do you want to go to the VIP area? Yes, we do.
I believe when they asked us to come in, we were actually at the bar, but it was the cereal bar.
That's true. It's true. They had like a collection. Yeah. General Mills had all this Star Wars cereal stuff.
Yes.
That's true. I'd forgotten about that.
Because we were starving.
Yeah, we were very hungry. So we wolfed everything down. We actually talked to Steve Sansweet a little bit. And then we got asked to go into the VIP area. So we did promptly and almost instantaneously. Someone pointed out to us that Harrison Ford was at a table nearby. And so I've told this story. I don't know if I've actually told the story here. I've told it to members of the CWK Alliance on our Patreon show as well. But I don't know. Do you want to tell that story, or do you just want to tell it together? What do you think? Because I know what it meant to me and experiencing it. But were you nervous about me approaching Harrison Ford?
No, not at all.
Really?
No.
I don't think I knew that.
No, not at all. I knew that was exactly what you wanted to happen. And I will say, I don't think it was nervous, but it's the only time I've ever seen you like gear up. Do you know what I mean? Usually you're very like, oh, there's so-and-so. I'm going to go say hello, or it doesn't matter. And it takes a lot for you to be starstruck maybe. Mm-hmm. And you were kind of like doing your mental push-ups before we approached him.
That's true. I knew that I would probably only get one chance to do it. I knew that I wasn't going to blow it. I was not going to be in that situation. I believe God put us there for a reason. And so I remember looking at you saying, all right, I'm going to go do it. And I wasn't going to let myself think myself or talk myself out of it.
Right.
And it was, so I went up to him. I tapped him on the shoulder and he turns around. He's taller. I mean, he's Harrison Ford, right? But he's still just a man. And in that moment, I had to tell myself, I'm just going to talk to him. I'm going to see what happens. I didn't plan anything I was going to say. And then I said, hey, I'm an educator, and I wanted you to know that I use your character of Indiana Jones and other things from popular culture and fiction to inspire my students through mythology. So thank you for the example you set. And he looked at me and he said, you're a teacher. And I said, yeah. And then that started a 5-minute conversation about writing and how kids, don't pay attention to grammar and spelling. And we were just like a couple of guys just shooting the breeze. We probably sounded like a couple of grumpy old men for a while. And it was absolutely wonderful. And at one point he looked at me and he said, you're a teacher. Thank you for what you do. And that was just like, oh, that got me so choked up. That meant the world to me. And you watched the whole thing. What was going through your mind? You watched me talking to Harrison Ford.
It was super cool. And I was trying to get all the pictures, trying to get you guys casually conversing, but it was super cool. He engaged right away and then very willingly took a picture with you.
Yes.
Then requested, he said, hey, let's get that picture.
Yeah. And I got to say to him, after we got the picture, I said, Harrison, can I introduce you to my wife? He said, of course. So I got to say the sentence, Harrison Ford, this is Deanna Zare. And then then he shakes your hand,
and
right?
And then he shook my hand and touched my arm and
Ugh.
it was a really cool moment. And he still looks real good.
He's amazing. Yes, absolutely amazing.
Really good.
And I sent pictures to Tom and Corey and my family and stuff. And Tom saw it. When I saw Tom in person, he goes, I knew it was serious. He goes, I could tell by the way your hands were in the air that you guys were having a serious conversation. Because, of course, I'm doing it now. I talk with my hands all the time. It was electric. And then when it was done, I looked over at you and I said, I just talked to Harrison Ford. And then I kind of collapsed. Like I just kind of tears came down my face. They were tears of joy. But it was just a wonderful, surreal experience. And by then, we could do no wrong. I mean, we started walking around that whole room. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, very cool moment for you. You skipped over my moment when before we went into the movie and I got to meet David Eckstein.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I saw Ashley Eckstein, and of course everybody knows
she is
Ashley.
Lovely and so wonderful.
She's great. But you are a massive St. Louis Cardinals fan, and I still love you anyway. Cubs fan, naturally. Come on. And so I had promised you, I said, if we see Ashley there, surely David will be there, and I'll definitely be sure to introduce you. So I walked up to Ashley, and I said, oh, hi. She said, oh, hi, Dan. And then I reintroduced myself to David, and I said, David, this is my wife, Deanna Zare. She's a huge St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Yeah, he was absolutely one of my favorite players back in the day. So that was a super cool moment for me to get to talk baseball with David Eckstein. Yeah,
and you actually got to tell him about what a big fan you were, and he was super gracious, super charming.
Yeah, it was great.
He is absolutely the real deal. So then we walked around, and we had a really fun moment with, I can't think of the actor's name, sadly, but he's one of the main characters from the cast of Stranger Things. He plays Dustin. Yes. Mm-hmm. And we walked right up to him, and he was awesome.
We were just coming off of our Stranger Things binge.
Yes.
You and I went wild over that show, and we loved him in the show. Mm-hmm. And then when we saw he was there, I approached him and chatted with him, and he was wonderful, and he was so excited to be there. Yes.
But he was really super charming. We talked about loving the movie. He actually had the necklace, a replica of the necklace around his neck that Anakin gives to Padme in the Phantom Menace, and we talked about that, and he was just super fun. And that was just kind of a cool moment because you're just like, everybody's here. We walked by the Property Brothers.
Jimmy Kimmel,
yeah.
I literally rubbed elbows with Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, that's right.
When he walked by.
You walked by and bumped. Yeah, it was just
Actually, he bumped into me.
He did. I would bump into you too if I was him. That was pretty wild. And the Property Brothers are very, very tall.
Very tall.
Like,
yes.
Like slam dunk situation tall.
Yes.
Yeah, they were great. We talked to Billy D. Williams.
We did.
Had a picture with him. Went around and talked to Ian McDermott, who of course plays the Emperor, and he was super charming. We talked to him. I talked to him about his role in Great Expectations, which is a PBS show, and to me it was cool because I'm sure, well, they obviously love Star Wars. They're at the premiere, but you're engaging other sides of their personalities and other interests that they have, because believe it or not, we do have other interests than Star Wars.
Do you?
Yeah, it's true. It's true, all of it. Yeah, absolutely. So overall, it was exceptionally great, and hours and hours went by, probably 3-4 hours. Then we realized, wow, we're very hungry.
We had eaten something, but we were there. There was a lot of excited, nervous energy.
Yes.
And I think more than like being starstruck just with all the stars, and you're like, oh my goodness, there are so many people here that I know, but I don't know at all. Right. It's super cool to be in a room with that much creative genius.
It's true.
And the energy alone was just amazing. That was my favorite part.
There was one more amazing encounter we had with a celebrity, and this is actually an apt conversation for now, because Raya and the Last Dragon is just been released on Disney Plus and in theaters. We got to meet and spend just a few moments with Kelly Marie Tran. I mean, she was amazing.
She was awesome. And we got a picture with her. And while we were getting the picture, everyone squeezed together because we had other people in the photo with us. Mm-hmm. And I stepped on her dress. Yeah, can't take me anywhere. This is why we can't have nice things.
That's right. But talk about her reaction.
And she said, don't worry about it. Step on this dress. Get in here and get this picture. And was just the coolest of the cool. Like,
she meant every word.
So gracious, so excited. That was, again, pre-pandemic. After we took the picture, she gave me a big hug. Like, we had told her we work in a high school, like just kind of shared some things like that. She was awesome.
She was. And I really do mean that. She didn't care that anybody stepped on her dress or that whatever. She was so happy and so pleasant. And when you see all these promos for Raya and the Last Dragon, I mean, it's no secret that there was a very small subsect of fans that were very cruel to her when The Last Jedi came out. And she took it like a champ. And I said to her, look, I don't speak for all Star Wars fans. I said, but I do run a Star Wars podcast, and I want to tell you that my listeners and my readers absolutely love you, and we think you're amazing. And she was so sincere and gracious. You don't always think of that for Hollywood, but it was very much true.
She was very genuine. And so excited just to be there and
soaking in
be
that
a part
energy.
of it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was great. Then we ended up going to the hotel, back to our hotel again, and a lot of Lucasfilm was there. So we talked to Pablo, we talked to Matt, Leland, Andy. Everybody was there. Clayton and I were there. You and Clayton's wife Mary talked for a long time. We actually ordered Taco Bell from Grubhub because it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and by this point we really
we mention we were hungry?
We were very hungry, yeah, because after, like you said, the adrenaline kind of burns that all out of you, and then we had like this great gift bag of all this stuff, including a lightsaber. And the next morning when we were going to the airport, you just gave that lightsaber away to a little kid, like, in the lobby, and hey, you want a cool lightsaber? And he was super excited. It was just a really magical experience.
It was super fun, and I understand that. For people who do the red carpet thing all the time, or for stars who have experiences like that all the time, I mean, we could have slept for 3 days.
Oh, easily.
Like, that is hard work. I mean, for the stars who have to be on all the time, and for people coming up to you like that and doing all of that. So, you would understand if they were jerks a little bit to you, but they weren't. Everyone was just extremely awesome. And
everybody was great. We did get to see Daisy Ridley, John Boyega from a distance, but they were like surrounded by entourages of people and all of that kind of stuff. And that was fun. I mean, this is like it was fun for us, but this is like the pinnacle of 5 years of work for them, and I'm sure it's got to be an incredible relief as well. So, anything else you want to say about our amazing experiences or about 400 episodes of Coffee with Kenobi before we wrap up the show?
No, I'm just super proud of you, and people do not realize how hard you work, or maybe they do, but I don't think they do. I think you make it look easy, and we're just super proud of you, and we're super proud of where you've taken this. And from the little unfinished
Red chair.
basement red chair picture to all that is Coffee with Kenobi Studios and Dan Z Media. So
Well, thank you so much. I love you, and I'm so grateful that I have you. I mean, regardless of this show, you are my co-pilot, but you're kind of the ship that kind of keeps things running for us and our family. And I'm just very, very blessed to have you. Thank you so much for sharing this experience with me, and I can't wait to see where the next 8 years take us.
thank you for not asking me any trivia.
Oh, you're right. Last time it was you and me and Corey and his wife Holly, and we actually Star Wars trivia, things like what color is Yoda's lightsaber and things like that. And you actually did pretty well, I believe.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Do you want to talk about your love for Boba Fett?
Which one is he again?
There you go.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. Am I forgiven for spilling on
You can spill in my studio
the
anytime.
vintage?
Anytime.
Okay.
This is Vanessa Marshall, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi.
Once you are ready to plan that vacation, whether it's to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or anywhere you want to go on the planet, be sure to check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, the official travel partner of Coffee with Kenobi. Their signature service and expert advice will help clients maximize their vacation time and dollar. I use them for my personal travel when it's safe to do so. I use them for Coffee with Kenobi. And as we get closer and closer to hopefully another celebration in 2022, you can be sure that I will be talking to Becky Menken and the team at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. There are certainly a number of excellent reasons to use MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. For one thing, their service is completely free to you. They are there to help you, to guide you, to help you with tips on getting into the parks, where should I go as far as what day I'm going to be there, what rides are the smartest ones to check out first, what are some of the best dining opportunities, whether you're traveling alone, whether you're traveling with that someone special, whether you're traveling with your family or just with a bunch of your friends. They will take care of you. They are an amazing, amazing service. I cannot recommend them enough. Again, I use them for both my personal travel as well as for everything we do at Coffee with Kenobi. And I will certainly be using them for future trips to Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser one day, and so many more exciting opportunities. So whether you're going to go to Disney World, whether you're going to go to somewhere else on the planet, and hopefully someday Disneyland when that opens, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, the Coffee with Kenobi travel partner, is your one-stop shop. If you have any questions, be sure to ask me or go to our travel affiliate link, which can be found on our webpage, in the show notes, or all over social media. Thank you so much. You will have the best time, and please let us know about your great experiences with MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Looking to catch up on the latest Star Wars books but can't find the time? Try listening to them on audio, featuring sound effects, top-notch narrators, and music directly from the movies. Star Wars audiobooks are the definitive listening experience. The Aces of the New Republic have one final chance to defeat the darkness of Shadowwing in Victory's Price by Alexander Freed, the thrilling conclusion to the Star Wars Alphabet Squadron trilogy. Visit penguinrandomhouse.com/coffeewithkenobi to listen to clips and find your next listen, or buy now wherever books and audiobooks are sold. We are back, and to continue the celebration of Coffee with Kenobi's 400th episode, I have got my best buddy in the whole wide world with me, my companion often on CWK's Facebook Live. He has, throughout his young life, celebrated Star Wars with us and all of our entire Coffee with Kenobi family, and certainly in our family, and I have the absolute best time sharing Star Wars with him. I am, of course, talking about the one and only Mason Z. Mason, welcome back to the show.
Hiya, pal.
So I'm excited to have you on for the show, so thank you for coming back to the show.
You're welcome.
So we are in the Coffee with Kenobi studios. You've got the official Coffee with Kenobi microphone. How excited are you right now?
101%.
Well, that's very good. So what I would like you to do, buddy, is, of course, you were on when you were really little, like 3 or 4 years old, talking about A New Hope. Do you remember that?
That was 4. I was 4 when I watched A New Hope.
You were?
3 years ago.
Wow, how about that? I remember that. That was on New Year's Day, I think.
Really?
Yeah, when you first watched it.
Ow.
Pretty cool. So you've seen all of the Star Wars movies,
Yep.
every single one. And for some reason, after you watch Solo and Rogue One
Revenge of the Sith.
and The Last Jedi
Revenge of the
and
Sith.
Revenge of the Sith, you haven't talked about any of those. So
Last Jedi, I think.
did you? I'll have to look at the release.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, eventually when we rewatch them, because we'll have you on. It won't be your first impressions, but still, you're a little bit older, so you'll be able to talk about it in a little bit of a different way. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, so I want you to tell everybody what it's like around our house when we record Facebook Live. So what do you like? You know, obviously, Daddy gets the show ready.
Yeah.
And so when I come downstairs and I fix all the lighting and get things ready for the show, what do you usually do? Because I never get to see you.
I eat a snack or just play or something.
Mm-hmm. And then you go upstairs and then you and Mommy get ready for the show. How does Mommy help you get ready for the show?
She takes out her laptop, gets it ready on Facebook.
And then you sit there and you participate in the show.
Yep.
How do you do that?
On her tablet or computer.
And you help prepare a top 5.
Yeah.
And then you talk about, well, you're good at typing. It's a good way to practice
Yeah,
your
for
typing.
trivia.
Yeah. Is that your favorite thing that we do?
Yep.
What else do you love about Facebook Live?
I like What's Brewing.
You like What's Brewing, and you like learning about Star Wars.
Yep.
How do you feel about the host of the show?
Pretty good.
Well, it always makes my heart very happy when I see you pop up on the screen under Mommy's Facebook icon, and then you talk. And everybody loves you and seems to like talking with you, too, and that's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah.
It's super cool. So oftentimes, Mason and I will talk before the show. He's almost like my mini producer, and he helps me make up different topics, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what are some topics that you helped me come up with over the past almost year?
Top 5 favorite Star Wars video games. Top 5 Star Wars.
There's certain characters you like to talk about.
Darth Maul moments.
Yep, and that's coming out this weekend. Or
Yep.
this next Monday, I guess.
Yeah.
So are there any topics that you can share with us that we've never talked about that you want to talk about on Facebook Live and see what other people think too?
Top 5 favorite dark side characters.
Okay, that's good. What else?
Not Sith, just any villain.
Any villains at all? Okay.
Yep.
What else about...
Top 5 favorite heroes.
Okay, that would be fun. Do you have a top 5 favorite heroes you can share with us now, you think?
No.
What if you did it to pick a favorite one? Okay, how about this? I know who your favorite Star Wars character is.
Who?
It's Jango Fett.
Yep.
Yep. And then your number 2, and this is sort of recent, is Iden Versio.
Yep. And then Maul.
And then Darth Maul. Or Maul. So why do you like Iden Versio so much?
The video game Battlefront 2 that came out in 2017.
Look at you. Now, some of you who watch the show on Facebook Live or listen to the feed here on our podcast feed know how much Mason loves Battlefront. But you've never been on the show since we played Battlefront 2. So tell us what you like about playing and what are some of your favorite boards and stuff like that.
I like to play on Yavin. I like to play on Hoth. I like to play on Scarif, Camino, Naboo.
What's your favorite board when we're playing together?
You and me?
Yeah.
Naboo Palasanger.
Yeah, that is his favorite place. Why do you like that board so much?
It's very little. I know it 100%, and it's just fun.
It's super fun. And there are places where you can hide on these little balconies and blast at people from afar, or you can go out.
I remember one time both of us were on a balcony, and I just, did I have a bazooka? No, I was Iden Versio, and I charged up my aiming shot, and Dad had a bazooka, and I shot, and he was about to shoot, but I destroyed him before he could shoot in one shot.
That's pretty much the norm when you and I play, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
You pretty much routinely beat me in that game.
it's true.
Somehow a 7-year-old is able to beat their dad in this game. It just kind of happens, ladies and gentlemen. It just kind of happens at some point in your lives.
I've had more practice.
Well, it's not over your entire lifetime, but definitely over the past few years.
Battlefront 2.
Of Battlefront 2, there's no doubt about that. But you've recently been playing the campaign for Battlefront 2. Tell us about that.
I finished the campaign and I'm starting the resurrection.
Right. What did you like? What did you like about the campaign of Battlefront?
I liked a bunch of stuff of it. I liked a lot of the boards. I liked when you played as Leia, Lando, Han.
There's a great scene early on in Battlefront 2 where you get to be Luke Skywalker.
Yep.
And you get to help Del Meeko. And that was really fun. Talk about that.
So, like, you were fighting these bugs as Luke while you're helping Del restore, like, power or something on this weird planet.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of the planet, but you get to really use Luke's force powers, which you're familiar with because we play when you and I play against each other on Battlefront 2.
Yep.
And that's how you became such a big fan of Iden Versio.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, we have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but we haven't gotten very far on that. We need to finish that one, don't we?
Yes.
Everyone keeps telling me how great it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard a bunch of spoilers.
You have?
On CWK?
Well, I don't
Alive?
think... Well, some people have tried to mention some things. We're not big spoiler people in this
Like
household.
the Inquisitor and Cal Kestis team up.
They do?
I've heard on and Alive.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that, do I? Wink. Okay. So, of all the cool Star Wars stuff that you've done in your whole life, what is some of your favorites? If you turn around and you look on the wall, there's a bunch of pictures over the years of you and me doing Star Wars adventures together.
Oh, yeah.
When you were little, I took you to a museum, and all the 501st were there, and you had
Am
a
I
Darth
little
Vader
in
costume.
that picture right there?
Yeah, you were probably not even 1 year old.
Really?
Yeah.
There's like this scout trooper and two like Mandalorian Boba Fett's.
Yeah. And then if you look to the very left, do you see that picture of you and me and Mommy and BB-8?
Yep.
Do you know where that is?
Disney World.
Yeah.
And then when I was like 3, we went to your school and a stormtrooper was there out of the elevator, and I held up my red lightsaber when I was Darth Vader.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so you went to Disney World when you were 1, and then you went when you were 3, but you've never been to Galaxy's Edge.
Never.
Well, hopefully someday you will.
Yeah.
What do you want to do when you go there?
Buy a lightsaber.
Okay.
Build one.
Build one, yeah.
Get a holocron.
Oh, wow, you want to do
Try to find a black kyber crystal.
Oh, yeah. That would be cool. Do you know how to find one?
Buy a bunch of red ones.
That is one way
like
to do
a
it.
bunch of.
Yeah, and you just have to get kind of lucky.
Get all the red ones.
Yeah, but then if you don't get it, you'll have just a bunch of extra red ones. I think we'll just probably get one and just sort of see what happens. And then someday, the Halcyon, the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser, otherwise known as the Star Wars Hotel.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
Awesome.
Yeah, well, I showed you the concept art.
costume.
Yeah, there's all these cool costumes that you get to wear when you're actually a part of the experience, and it is very much an experience. But what kind of costume do you think you would want to wear?
I just thought about it in Django's.
Well,
They have
so Mandalorian armor.
Yeah, Django's armor.
Yeah, and at the time of this recording, we don't know what those options are going to be. But based on the picture we saw, what do you think you'd want to do?
Darth Maul.
That was an option for kids?
I don't know.
I remember seeing Han Solo,
Yeah.
and I thought it'd be cool. They have one where there's a little kid just like Han Solo from A New Hope, and one dressed like Han Solo from The Empire Strikes Back, and I think that's what we should do.
That's the dad Empire Strike. I don't really like Han.
You don't like Han? You like him, but he's not. You don't like him as much as you like Jango Fett.
True.
Yeah, but Han Solo's a good character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so we've talked about your favorite things that you've done. What are some Star Wars things you'd like to do someday that you've never gotten to do? Besides go to Disney, which we talked about.
Do some Star Wars
Who would you like to meet from the world of Star Wars?
things. Django.
Yeah, you'd like to meet Tamira Morrison?
Mm-hmm.
I met him once.
Really?
Yeah. Back before you
Who
were
is
born.
he also the character?
He's the dad in Moana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's great in that.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. So, what do you know? Every time you're on, you always talk about you try to rank your favorite movies, which I didn't tell you before, so I don't want to put you on the spot. But could you think of maybe what are your top favorite Star Wars movies?
Number 1 is either Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. Probably guess why Attack of the Clones. Django.
Sure, of course.
Probably Phantom Menace, because one night, like a few nights in a row, I watched Phantom Menace like 5 times in a row.
I totally remember that. That was really cool. And I'm glad that you like that movie as much as you do.
And number 2,
Yes.
I love Revenge of the Sith.
Yes. But you've only seen that one time.
Yeah,
We need to watch that one again.
it's true.
You liked Rogue One a lot.
Yeah, I liked Rogue One.
Yep. And you've seen The Empire Strikes Back in the theaters more than you've seen any Star Wars movie, which is pretty cool because we saw it at a drive-in movie theater last summer when everything was going pretty intense in the pandemic, but we could see a movie outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then on my birthday in September, you and me and Mommy went to the theater. There was maybe 2 people in there besides us, and we saw The Empire Strikes Back on my birthday.
Yeah,
And that was, how'd you like seeing Star Wars on the big screen? You haven't talked about that.
pretty good.
Yeah, seeing the movie I guess you've seen The Rise of Skywalker on the big screen too.
Yeah.
Remember how fun that was? Just going to see the movie?
Mm-hmm.
And how excited you were. In fact, that morning you woke up and you told Mom you were born to do this. Do you remember that?
No.
You did. It was super cool. And you know what? There's a little bit of truth in that. You were born to do a lot of great things. So I think you're going to do lots of really cool things in your life. And today, you had school and you had St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and that was really fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we also did top Star Wars collectibles,
Yeah.
and that was pretty great. Are there?
Done Han moments.
We've done top
Yeah.
Han moments and
Funny
Luke.
moments.
We've done funniest moments. We've done best couples.
Darth Vader's.
We've done best lightsabers. We've done best blasters. We've done best starships.
We've done best lightsabers.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Not blasters.
Yeah, we've done blasters. I promise. And you know what's
Have
crazy?
I?
Yeah, you have. Do you realize it's been almost a full year since we started CWK Live?
Really?
Yeah. Pretty amazing. And one thing that people don't know is I get the show ready, I get the lights set up in the studio, and then Mason runs upstairs like he talked about, and we do the show, he interacts with us, and as soon as it's over, while I'm playing the end music, I hear him running across the hallway, running down the stairs, he runs in my office, and then we talk about the show afterwards, and gives me a big hug. And it's like my favorite part of doing the show every night. Did you know that?
Really?
Oh, I love it. It's great. It's great fun. You're a very fun little boy. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yep.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Moment of silence. I don't know.
You don't know. Well, you did a great job, so you can come back on the show anytime. And I still think at some point when you get a little bit older, we should go back and watch different episodes of Clone Wars and Rebels and talk about them, because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
You actually, there is one thing I want you to talk about that you've told me a few times, which I think is really insightful. You talk about the reason that you think Darth Vader. You remember in Return of the Jedi when the Emperor's trying to tempt Luke and to turn to the dark side, and there's a moment where he keeps trying to get Luke to grab the lightsaber and strike him down, and Luke won't do it. And then at the very end, he suddenly grabs the lightsaber and he swings to hit the Emperor, and Darth Vader blocks it, and the Emperor starts to laugh. And that's when things get pretty heavy and serious. But you have an interesting theory about why Darth Vader stops Luke.
Because he doesn't want to turn him to the dark side. Because he's starting to get good.
So you think it's not that Darth Vader's trying to protect the Emperor. You think that deep down inside, Darth Vader is blocking Luke from killing the Emperor.
Because then Luke would be on the dark side. And the Emperor wanted Luke to kill him.
That's true. And I think that is very smart, buddy. So I am very impressed. So nice job out of you. Well, thanks again for coming back to Coffee with Kenobi, buddy. Can you believe we've done 400 podcasts?
No.
You know, this started a couple of weeks before you were born.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, one of the early shows, if people listen to an older show, I had you in your little crib sitting next to me while I did the show from my old karaoke microphone, and you were cooing and making little baby noises during the show.
Really?
That's the cutest
Could
thing
you
ever.
hear it on camera?
Oh, yeah. You totally could. Well, thanks again, buddy, for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Do you want to share with everybody how you always say this is Dan Z from Coffee with Kenobi?
This is Dan Z, Coffee with Kenobi. See ya later.
All right, we will be back after the short break and close out the show.
Listening to Coffee with Kenobi, you are, with Dan Z, the podcast you're looking for. This is...
As we near the end of the show today, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to have a cup of coffee with me and for helping to spread the word about our Star Wars family we've got here at Coffee with Kenobi. Be sure to tune in Monday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live at www.coffeewithkenobi.com/live or www.facebook.com/coffeewithkenobi and have a cup of coffee, tea, or any beverage of your choosing with me as we continue the conversation. To join us in the CWK Cafe, which is our Facebook group, and share your Star Wars thoughts, comments, reviews, and opinions in a family-friendly, spoiler-free place that is also drama-free, go to www.coffeewithkenobi.com/community and be part of the conversation, talk about this week's show, or just talk about some Star Wars. We have a lot of fun and you'll make some new friends as well as catch up with longtime friends along the way. I also want to thank all of the new and longtime members of the CWK Alliance and let you know how much I appreciate your help and encouragement. If you want to join the CWK Alliance, go to www.cwkalliance.com and sign up today. Not only will you help out Coffee with Kenobi, but you also get access to CWK Pour-Over, the exclusive weekly podcast not heard anywhere else. It's a great way to support and help out the show, and 10% of your monthly contributions go directly to the St. Jude Children's Hospital to support the incredibly important work they are doing to help these brave children and their families. Plus, contributors at the CWK All-Star level can watch a video podcast of CWK Pour-Over hosted by me, Tom Gross, and Corey Clubb. Feel free to reach out anytime if you have any questions. In addition to being part of the community on Facebook, please don't forget to visit our website at www.coffeewithkenobi.com for Star Wars news, announcements, reviews, videos, and so much more. If you have a question for me or just want to share your thoughts on the air, feel free to email me at danz@coffeewithkenobi.com and I'll share them on the show. You can also connect with me on Twitter at Mr. Zaire, MRZEHR, or on Instagram at DanZareCWK. There are also a lot more ways to connect with me and Coffee with Kenobi on social media. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/coffeewithkenobi. Check us out on Pinterest or subscribe to our Coffee with Kenobi YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, you can find Facebook Live video, different interviews throughout the years, highlights of video coverage throughout the Coffee with Kenobi history, and the audio podcast itself. You can order my book, The Star Wars Book, which I co-wrote with Lucasfilm's Pablo Hidalgo and Cole Horton, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Books A Million, Walmart, or anywhere books are sold. You can also find my writing on Coffee with Kenobi's website, as well as StarWars.com, where I am an official blogger there, and on IGN, where I contribute occasionally to articles about Star Wars, as well as other popular culture topics. If you are considering starting a podcast or a blog, let me know how I can help you get started and make your creative vision a reality. Be sure to check out danzmedia.com and we can get the process started. I am also available to come to your school, conference, business, or organization to talk about how to tap into your strengths and help you bring out your very best. I want to inspire you to be inspired so you can take that first step into a larger world. Thanks as always to our Coffee with Kenobi sponsors, especially MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, our travel partner and your one-stop shop for all things Walt Disney World, Disneyland, the Disney Cruise Lines, or anywhere on the planet you want to go on your vacation. Please go to www.coffeewithkenobi.com/mousefantravel to book your magical vacation and help support Coffee with Kenobi in the process. If you like the show, please tweet out that you're listening, share it on Facebook, or invite your friends and family to tune in and share a cup of coffee with us. And if the Force is especially with you, please take a couple of minutes to rate and review the show on iTunes or Google Podcasts. Every review makes a huge difference and helps to spread the word, and I can't thank you enough for your help, for your support, and your friendship. I love so much being a part of this wonderful Star Wars community, and I can't thank you enough for all that you do for me and Coffee with Kenobi. Well, it doesn't get much better than that for me. I want to thank everybody so much for their love, for their support, for their friendship over the past 7.5 years of Coffee with Kenobi, show number 400. Who would have thunk it? And I'm so grateful for all of you, but especially for the 2 of the 5 members of my family that were able to join me today on the show. Naturally, my lovely wife, Deanna, who has done so much to support me, to encourage me, and to inspire me, and then my amazing son, Mason, who obviously could not be sweeter or more insightful or more funny. And I'm very, very grateful for them. So happy that I can share this show with each and every one of you. Be sure to join me Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time for Facebook Live. We will talk about your top 5 favorite Darth Maul moments. Of course, you can include when he is Maul as well. But we're going to have a lot of fun with that. It's been highly requested, so I'm looking forward to that. Have a great week and weekend, everybody. Here's to 400 more shows and who knows what else. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.
There's no one here. Move along. Move along.
Looking to catch up on the latest Star Wars books? Featuring sound effects and music directly from the movies, Star Wars audiobooks are the definitive listening experience. The aces of the New Republic have one final chance to defeat the darkness of Shadow Wing in Victory's Price by Alexander Freed, the thrilling conclusion to the Star Wars Alphabet Squadron trilogy. Available now wherever audiobooks are sold.